Welcome to the 7 Steps video series. My name is Claude D. This video series serves as an accompaniment to the book 7 Steps, a book for empaths in a world full of narcissism. Check the link below for a copy of the book and hit the subscribe button for more videos. I hope you find these informative and that they provide a path to peace. This series highlights the 7 narc abuse tactics outlined in the book. This is the second. This is gaslighting. The term gaslighting comes from a 1940s film where a man consistently manipulates truth and reality in the attempt to make his wife go crazy. Gaslighting is a psychological abuse tactic employed by narcissistic individuals or narcissists. Here, the goal is to make the victim question his or her memory, reality, and perceptions. Like many abuse tactics, it is done to establish power or control in a relationship. Usually with gaslighting, the abuser wants power or control over the narrative. All narcissists like to achieve what is called narcissistic supply, often defined as extreme praise or pity. In the case of gaslighting, truth is manipulated in order to maintain supply and often to prevent exposure. For example, during a disagreement, a narcissist may use extremes like, "You always do that," in order to avoid personal accountability and establish a narrative that is not true, a narrative that feeds them supply. Once a narcissist finds a narrative that gives them supply, it becomes their standard and often their only recollection of events. It may start with microaggressions, which abusers use to provoke victims into compliance. Abusers hope that if they keep pressing buttons, the victim will be too fearful of the consequences to speak up for themselves. You'll find that if you are brave enough to address gaslighting head-on, narcissists may respond with, "Oh, I was just kidding," or "It's not that serious." Narcs believe that these expressions will offer them a quick save when an attempt at supply or a microaggression is thwarted. When successful, these responses remove the spotlight or the mirror on themselves and move the focus to why you are making such a big deal out of it. In this way, they get away with provoking a victim and shaming them for their genuine response. This is often referred to as the change-up. Ultimately, gaslighting is a tactic narcs use to avoid conversations that hold them accountable by convincing the victim that certain things never happened, or by shifting the focus to the victim's reaction to it. Gaslighting can happen in any relationship, but it is particularly effective in situations where the narc's narrative is not easily disputed. A narcissistic boss, for example, knows that an employee is dependent on them for their job. Gaslighting is how they establish narratives and reputations about others without disagreement or contest. Whether the relationship is work-related, friendship, family, or romantic, gaslighting victims have to be willing to sacrifice their honest reflection with a false narrative created by the narcissist. Gaslighters also employ triangulation and smear campaigns to persuade others to see the world or the victim their way, causing great mental and emotional abuse. People tend not to take mental and emotional abuse as seriously as they do physical abuse. But gaslighting is a powerful form of abuse, and victims can suffer from long-term self-doubt, social isolation, confusion, and even PTSD. If you think you have been a victim of gaslighting abuse, then I would invite you first to do what a narcissistic individual cannot do. Reflect. When you reflect, first and foremost, breathe and note how this feels inside your body. Are you able to have the reflection and be present? Are you able to be here now? Or do you find yourself going back in time and replaying conversations or events, trying to negotiate a reality that doesn't make sense to you? Or are you projecting out to the future conversations and events in the hopes that it is all past you? This yearning or attachment to a better past moment or a better future outcome is one of the most lasting effects of gaslighting abuse, which is why meditation, or the practice of being, has a powerful effect, because it releases the ego need to grip to roles and expectations, releasing energy to flow as you merely observe. But in order to release and achieve maximum flow, one must bring his or her awareness to where there is a grip or an attachment. Meditation will teach you how to balance two very important attachments. One is the attachment to time. The other is the attachment to self. Gaslighting abuse can stand out as a place where you feel stuck, and when it's coupled with physical abuse or intimidation, it can find you naturally gravitating to positions of tension, defense, and protection. So, if you have been abused in this way, it will be an exercise for you to calm your defenses and put your body in a state of surrender and release. One of the first things people notice when they meditate is how difficult it is to be where they are or be in the present moment. Light reminiscing and projecting is to be understood, and so we are always balancing being in the present with our drifting. But when someone or something is challenging our reality, we can feel a strong attachment to time. And we can especially feel this when we set out to experience the present moment through meditation. The resistance to the present moment can feel very intense. You can often feel moved or thrown into the past or future, just trying to make sense of what has happened or calm your fears about what could happen. Meditation is where we begin to bring our awareness to this movement. It is the strength we build here during silence that is your strongest weapon in the presence of noise. Just like with a push-up, you have to lie flat in order to get the maximum fitness benefit of raising your body off the ground. You will have to know true presence in order to bring your awareness to what is happening when you are leaving it. Gaslighters have no regard for their victims' mental health, and so it's nothing for them to present a false narrative and manipulate the truth, leaving the victims with attachments to events because they cannot find resolution. What victims find is that after they have walked away from reality to entertain the narcissist's false narrative, that it's a long walk back to their gut instincts. In Seeking Flow, the attachment to time addresses our mental barrier. The other barrier we balance is our attachment to self, represented as tension in the body. You may have heard the term body language to describe how people communicate with their posture. Meditation is an exercise of releasing physical tension to experience maximum flow using a certain body language. There are some tried and true methods of meditating that assist in a more flowing experience. For example, You should be sitting in a lotus position or at just a 90-degree angle. This is important for being grounded. You should be laying your arms at either side. This is the language of surrender and release. You should be examining your body for places where you are not relaxed. A good barometer for how relaxed you are is the base of your tongue. It will often be the first thing to rise when you are tense. Meditation is an opportunity to pull back from life, to remember that you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are not your emotions. Meditation returns your dominion to these things by removing the instant identification with them and replacing it with gentle and compassionate awareness. This awareness can be your first warning sign in situations like gaslighting abuse, where the resulting tension of forced narratives and forced reality is sometimes overlooked until a victim has run out of peaceful ways to respond and express themselves. Our healthiest atmospheres are full of flow. Often we don't even notice the freedom we have in some environments to be ourselves and speak without fear of our reality being manipulated. We may say things like, "I really flow with you," but do we bring our full awareness to that feeling? Do we realize that it's not just the external influence of the individual and their qualities that we enjoy, but it is also the bringing of ourselves to the present moment without fear of the past or anxiety of the future. It is the releasing of our tensions and defenses that opens the door for our energy to permeate through the experience. Meditation is where you learn to take your energy and run at maximum flow without blockage. Having known this flow inside, you can be authentic about where the flow and blockages are on the outside. Your ability to be authentic about what is bringing noise into your life will bring you closer to peace. Good day. Thank you for watching and listening. If you found the content informative, please let me know by clicking the thumbs up button, and you can hit the subscribe button to know when more videos are available. Check the description below to get access to the book, 7 Steps, a book for empaths in a world full of narcissism, as well as other resources. Once again, my name is Claude D.